Joe, this is a kind of a weird situation, the way this whole thing played out, the rematch. So, I mean, what have the last...
I love weird shit.
Yeah, it works out good, right?
Yeah.
What's the last, 5 months been like as you were kind of working back to this position? I mean, have you been obsessing over that first fight or, game plan? What's it been like for you?
It's been a challenge, honestly. It's been pretty hard. The way the last fight went was like pretty traumatic, honestly, and that was like everything was perfect for that fight. It didn't go my way, and it went kind of in a weird way, and then from that weird way, we went into quarantine where I kind of had to sit in it and sulk in it even more, because a lot of the way to get over a fight is just get in the gym. You can't think of anything else when you're getting better, preparing for the next thing. You have to worry about the next guy. You have to worry about the guy you're grappling with or whatever. And I really couldn't do that. Quarantine I think was hard for a lot of people to sit there with nothing to do, just the boredom. But to sulk in like something traumatic like that, it took me a little longer. Thankfully, I was quarantined with my wife and my dog, who I love, and they make me the happiest and make me feel the best and the most loved. So it definitely sped up the process. But yeah, I mean, that part was definitely a challenge. And then as far as the fight, I knew I was getting the fight again because I literally found out as I was getting stitches in the back that I was fighting him again. And, obviously, the controversy, the way everything went, it was still vacant. They're like, we're doing it again. So I knew that was happening the whole time. So I was just kind of waiting for everything to get normal and making sure I got the right, like offer and weeks to prepare, not just squeeze in there because they need it. And and this is the one that worked out. So got the fight. I couldn't say I was like excited again because it was. I mean, I'm always excited to fight, but like it's just different. Like I just feel like I'm doing the same thing. Like it's Groundhog Day, I'm waking up and I was like, I just prepared for that. I just talked about it. I just said everything I have to feel about it. But I love this one because it feels so pure. There's none of that. There's no one following me and wanting the huge story and every single thing I'm thinking about leading up to it and how it's so perfect and destined and this and that. Is just pure, like fighters didn't have Twitter or Instagram or anything back in the day, and you just knew you were going to fight a guy in this place, and you knew he was training for you and you were training for him. You meet there. This place happens to be awesome. It's amazing to be a part of this particular event and the mystique and everything around it. We're all a few of us that will live to tell about it. And so it was just right, like I said, but I just love it. Like it feels pure to me. Like, yeah, we're just fighting and we're adapting to the conditions of the world and the conditions that need be, training in our hotel room, in our garage, waking up at random times and just like, I love it.
So how about the uncertainty around him and his participation? I mean, is that maddening to you in any way that you're like, why can't anything just be normal?
Oh, yeah, I mean, when they said he had the corona, I guess now he passed both his tests here and got here, obviously, which was a big step. Once he got here, I was like, all right, we're fighting. Like, he's not coming all the way over here, if he's whatever. No, when it happened, it was different. I knew something would happen. Thank God we've had a replacement. Since we took the fight, we asked for a replacement, so we're not left in the same position again. But it was just. I mean, I'm glad it's happening. That's obviously the guy I want to fight and the guy I want to prove I'm better than. But I was just. It was kind of honestly though, like when he missed weight, how it didn't really bother me because I was like, what can I do about that? What am I gonna do? Make up all these things in my head? No, I'm gonna fight him. And the same thing, I knew I wasn't leaving here without a fight, and that was all I really thought about.
How much changes in terms of game plan, tactics, that sort of thing? I mean, Do you go into this fight thinking, hey, I think we had it figured out last time, except for the weirdness, the headbutt, or do you feel like no, we learned some things and we gotta make some tweaks?
Yeah, yeah. I mean, yeah. I won the first round on every fight score, every judge's scorecard, and I felt good in that. So there's things you can take apart technically and you can approach differently. I think I gave him every chance to win, even though I beat him at what he's trying to do. You know, I kind of yeah, like gave him the best chance. Like everything lined up for him. We fought in a certain way. This happened. Got to miss weight, got to get bigger, got to find the split second between. Like it's like if Swiss cheese lined up and like everything gets just blocked off, like his like made a straight hole somehow. That fight, I think, you know, and yeah. So there's a lot you can take away technically. I mean, and when I say perfect, like you don't take things away from what you were feeling and the positive things you were doing because I'm different. I'm not like a meant to be. Believe in this guy, believe in that. Everything is great. But for that fight, I was really starting to, think that and have that very, very, positive everything. Like this is meant to be, and obviously, and you don't lose any of that, and you don't lose like, hey, the preparation I was doing, but you're gonna change tactically once you get a little, data from the time we did spend together in there.
Uh, Last thing for me, how much time, if any, was dedicated to prepping for Pantoja, just in case?
You know what? I can honestly say my full focus was on Figueiredo. Um, and I knew there was a chance. And, you know, I watched Pantoja. My coaches were aware of kind of what he does and aware that we could do it. But, somebody like Figueiredo, I think, you know, needs your full, attention in that part. And I knew if we had to pivot, we'd at least maybe have enough time. And saw him a lot on The Ultimate Fighter, watched a lot of his fights. And even right when we got here, before Figueiredo was able to get the flight, we watched a few Pantoja fights together, just made some notes. But, it's still the approach of like, I can't control that. But, if you're the best fighter in the world, you got to beat anyone in your division. He has the same preparation I do. So, yeah, during camp, though, I put my full attention. I mean, on Figueiredo as you do, like I was fighting him. Like I wasn't obsessing over it. Like I'm a guy that I train kind of on my own, but my coaches definitely, we were working stuff that for him.
You mentioned that you watch a few Pantoja fights. Is that something he does that you think maybe he does better than Figueiredo in some aspects of the fight?
Yeah, I mean, he's really good at jiu-jitsu. He's really good at, distance. He's really good. Yeah, he's really good at a lot of places, I think. Pantoja, I mean, he's a replacement for a reason. He is, you know, just as skilled as anyone else in the division and would be an amazing title fight as well. He's right up at that caliber. So with when you're that high up, you're going to be, everyone's going to be good at everything. So there wasn't really something that stood out that he was going to do better, but I knew he definitely posed a lot of problems like any high level guy would.
You mentioned that you felt like you were living the same day over and over again.
Yeah.
Are you is there a part of you that just wants to get through it with this fight all over again? So just okay, I don't have to think about Davidson anymore.
Yeah, I mean, a little bit. You always can't wait to fight, no matter what the fight is. But for this fight in particular, I mean, I've been going through it since December, December to February for the last fight, the time in between, doing interviews about it and preparing for it. So that's kind of the thing where, like, the preparation's great. I love getting back in the gym and, having the goal and the challenge in front of me. Like, that means everything. So that's, like, why we do this. But, yeah, the part of just wanting the fight to be over, like, I feel like even if I win, when I win, that I'm going to be like, I should have just done this last time, you know, like something like that. Then I wouldn't have had to go through 5 months. Like, that's how I feel, is like, this is going to be great. I'm glad I'm a part of this. I'm glad, like, this is really cool. Like, this is a great experience for me. As challenging as it is, I love adapting and just like, oh, here's when we're fighting. Like, I'm going to wake up at 2 in the morning and do all that, because that's what a fight is, you know, is adapting to things and overcoming things and, like, the challenge of it. And every fight week's the same for me. You know, you do this, you do that. Like, this is cool. It's different. It's another experience. It feels fresh. So, yeah, it's nice. I'm obviously excited to fight, but like I said, I just felt like I should have just done this like a long time ago. That's kind of how I feel.
We always see media and fans doing lists of, oh, but these are the best fighters to never win the UFC belt. How
Yeah.
good is it gonna be to not see your name on that list anymore?
You know, it's gonna feel great, obviously, just to win a belt in general. The lists aren't really anything, because when I now look at the list, I say, well, like, you know what? How many fighters have never went for any title? You know, I kind of look at that. Like, there's no list of that, because it would be way too long. So I'm like, it's on a short list of people that go for a UFC world title, and that's how I always look at it. To not see it at all, that's gonna feel even better though.
Do you think this is your last one, or do you think that maybe the flyweights is a unique division that it wouldn't be impossible for you to get another win streak and get another title shot if it doesn't go your way on Saturday?
No, honestly, even with the last title fight, um, I knew that was my last. I thought that was my last title fight. So this one definitely is. As far as title, you know, attempt. You know, I win it. Obviously, you have title defenses and stuff. But yeah, no, I thought this was my last shot. I mean, I fought through 10 fights to get here. For my second one, an ACL surgery. You know, ran through 10 guys in the process, and a process of like, however many years. So, you know, I don't know, you know, if that's really in the cards again. So yeah, I look at it as is probably like the last title attempt I'm gonna have, but not the last title fight.
During that run, did you get to a point that maybe it wasn't happen for you to get to this title fight?
Well, yeah, I mean, just there. I mean, I love that it's news long gone and no one talks about it anymore. But there was a time when like the flyweights were on the block in general, and that was really when I thought about it. I always had faith, you know, in fighting wherever we might have ended up for another title. But you want to fight for the UFC title. I always had faith in my skill of making it to where I needed to be the best. But obviously, there was a time there where I'm like, there might just not be a place. Like, what's gonna happen? You know, am I going to have to go to 35, which I honestly would have, because, you know, I fight in the UFC. That's what I've done my whole career. So that uncertainty was the only hard part. As far as me believing in myself and beating everyone in front of me, that was never uncertain. But just that short time with the uncertainty of the division, that was challenging.
Is it over? Do you think, okay, flyweights are here to stay? You
Yeah.
don't feel that risk anymore?
It's here to stay. I mean, you know, right now, of course, it was just a great fight this morning, right? With everyone. I mean, there's contenders in the wings, and yeah. So, you know, there's no talk about it. So, I mean, there's not really a question about it.
If you become the UFC champion on Saturday, would you rather being a dominant champion on the division to work to gain some more attention for the flyweight division, or would you rather go for the champ status?
Oh no, I would just want to fight the best guy in my division. Honestly, like, I don't want to fight another weight class or another gender, or like anything like that. No, I would literally want to fight the best in my division. Like, I have so much pride for the flyweights, you know. I fought for the first title in this division. I was actually the first win in this division, first knockout. You know, I think I'm pretty synonymous with flyweights. Yeah, so I have a lot of pride. Even I tune into all of them, and I just root for all of them to put on a good fight and perform and win a bonus and win a fight of the night. Like, yeah, so I would just want to keep building it and fight the next best deserving guy.
Are you waiting for Henry Cejudo
I don't think so because, I mean, he never mentioned it when he was active and it was a possibility. So I'm not expecting it now.
Now that you had the opportunity to step in the cage with Davison for one time, what would you say it's his biggest threat for you, and what's your biggest weapon against him?
Yeah, I think for him is just, you see him and he fights aggressive. I'm an aggressive fighter too. I take pride in beating people at what they're good at. Back to my WC days, submitting jiu-jitsu guys, fighting kickboxers at a distance that, is beneficial for them. I don't know what it is. I love that part about it. So he's aggressive. That's his best thing. You want to stand toe-to-toe with him. So the last fight, like, yeah, I want to beat him toe-to-toe, and I was doing so. So I think that's just his best fight, his aggression. He's obviously skilled. Everybody is if you're in the UFC. And I think my best way to beat him is fight like I can. I have many more ways besides that. I can beat him at his own game, but I have many more layers also to fight him tactically.
When he arrived here at the hotel, he said to them that he would like to be the first one to submit you.
Nice.
What that's it.
I like that. I mean, that's great. I mean, I think I'm the best grappler in the division, and I believe in it against anybody. So I hope we can get into that and test that part of the game.
Cool. Thank you, sir.
Thanks, guys.